And you say that talking about the biases that come in, and people automatically think about when you say the word poetry, it's automatically the I'm so frail and I've been beaten down.
Yeah,
I'm beaten down.
You got super glue on your wrist and you apply it to your forehead.
Exactly.
You just walk around like that.
So pale, I have to get a tan.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a compliment, your work it seems to be very. It's certainly not like positive. It's talking about some darker issues.
Yeah.
It seems.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of positive stuff. I have a few. I don't know. Somehow through the pains and the boredom and the frustration that everybody goes through, I think when you write about it and other people can relate to it, it makes it easier for everybody. Because it's like, oh yeah, everybody goes through it, and it's sort of a beautiful part of life, I guess. Life is sad and beautiful or whatever, and what won't kill you makes you stronger. Things like that.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it is nice to when you think you're onto something, when you know that connection is made and it's going there and there and there, and it'll go to one person and then it'll go to someone else. And
yeah.
Have you ever like printed any of your works?
All of it's handwritten. I'm such a Luddite when it comes to putting anything in a computer or anything. Eventually I'd like to be able to have a book to put on the shelf. That is a collection of work. I recently was in a fire this year. In February, and a lot of my things got burned. It was like smoke damage, fire damage, and water damage. And I wrote a lot. I had one period where I was writing things in red ink, and it all just ran off the paper, and there was just ghosts left behind. So I had to rework a lot of those, and I had books of poetry that was stolen when I was in New York. I had really thick black blank books, and one of them had a leather embossed cover with a skull embossed in the leather and a pewter knob with the fancy string on it. And someone stole it for the cover, and I was a horrible drunk in New York as well, so I left things all over the place, and I didn't realize how much that would hurt. It's like a compilation of events and feelings and people, places, and things that suddenly is gone, and you do your best to try to remember them and recreate them, and there's no way.
Never, yeah.
And luckily I have a friend who I used to do the anti-folk hootenanny in New York at a place called The Sidewalk, and a friend videotaped a couple of my performances, so he has some lost works of Todd Deal Sherman.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Still piece together some of that.
Yeah, so I do have some floating somewhere, and some books of poetry that are floating somewhere.
Somewhere.
I don't think anybody destroyed them, so they're somewhere.
That's weird. Yeah, you wonder where whoever stole that exactly. What are they doing with it now?
What do they think? Because
Maybe they feel bad.
A lot of the blank books are like poetry, unfinished poetry, some scribbles, some doodles. Some phone numbers, whatever. What do they make of it all?
So, is Deal your real middle name? Come on.
Yeah, it is.
Todd Deal.
Yeah,
Sherman.
I was born Todd Deal Lescalier, the French last name Lescalier, and got adopted, and they dropped the Lescalier and added Sherman onto it. My brother was born Jason Price Lescalier, so he gave the Price and I gave the Deal. They were family names, Price and Deal. And I've been considering just changing my name to Todd Deal, and that's why right now I'm doing Todd Deal Sherman. Eventually I'll just drop the Sherman, and everybody will still know who I am. And my brother changed his back to Lescalier. Why, I don't know. It's Lescallet. A lot of mispronunciations on that one.
Yes. Well, some people like that.
When my father was in the service, they just called him Les. Because they call everybody by their last name in the service usually. Back in the day or whatever, they just called him Les. or he had to pronounce it. It's like "Let's go eat," you know. And I don't want to have to deal with any of it, so I don't use that name at all. I ignore it.
As you will. Well, thank you very much for coming by.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
I live right down the street.
Well,
we're neighbors.
Certainly welcome.
You and I.
Come by. You live right down this street.
That street.
Down that street.
Down that way.
Yeah.
For the listeners at home, it's down that way.
Down, yes, pointing that direction.
In that direction.
Over there. Well, thank you once again.
Thank you
for coming by, and we should do something again in the future on the show.
Like I said, open for suggestion.
There you go. 508-753-2284. Todd Deal Sherman, open for suggestions. Let's get back to the show. I wanted to play some from Jane F. Monroe from the same show, yes, that we heard Todd speaking at. Who the first show, I mean, I've seen people work with fire in the past. This is a woman that accidentally set a fire on stage, and she just moved right through it. You know, someone ran up on stage, put out the fire. She made a quick quip, and then a little frazzled, but she still moved on. And I really respect her for that. I don't know what I would have done.
It was the first time I had seen a woman in a slip in a church basement setting fire to something.
Yes.
Honestly.
We should have videotaped that, because no one's going to believe it. This is Jane F. Monroe, recorded at the Green Rooster. My name is Mark, and this show is called Hullabaloo. It comes your way every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m., and coming up at 9 o'clock tonight, Judy will be here with assorted crew in the show Double Dare Ya, going from 9 to 10:30. Then at 10:30, John will be here with the musical Litter Box. And after that, a kind of a new show here at WCUW. It's called The B-Side, every Wednesday night from midnight until 2 a.m. Shirley, lots of good stuff coming your way. And Shirley will be here, too, as a matter of fact, at 9 o'clock.
Sir.
Imagine that.
Wow.
This is Jane F. Monroe. Stick around, 91.3 FM, WCUW in Worcester.
To tell you, but really I don't. All I really know is the ordinary life of an Italian-American codependent woman and her struggle for love and happiness. I just wonder sometimes, am I all alone here?